Hi all, welcome to the session on deployment and maintenance phase and deployment checklist and impact analysis document preparation. I'm Shalini Neralla. In our today's session, let's discuss about the fifth and the sixth phases of the waterfall model, which are deployment phase and maintenance phase. And as part of each phase, we'll be discussing about the deployment checklist document preparation and impact analysis document preparation. Right? So let's get started. Deployment phase. So once after UAT, once the user have provided you the UAT sign off, then we are good to deploy the processes into prod. So usually the unit testing will be done by the developer in the dev environment, right? So that version on which the unit testing is done will have to be deployed into the QA environment. So then the QA team will be performing the SIT testing in the QA environment. So once after the sign off is provided on SIT, UAT testing will be done in the Q environment itself. And that version on which it was approved will have to be deployed into prod. So this is the deployment process that will be followed. So to deploy the processes into the other environment, there will be a team member or a separate team for it. So for them to give a reference, we need to prepare a deployment checklist document. So this document will act as a reference for them to deploy the processes into the other environment. So here you'll be specifying the version of the process that have to be deployed, the environment it have to be deployed to, the values, the connection details, the property values, lookup table values, everything. So whatever have to be provided at runtime will be listed out in this particular document. Right? So let's have a look at it. So this is the format of the deployment checklist document. Here you'll be specifying the JIRA number, CR number, etc. and the recipe list. So here you'll be mentioning all the components, the names of it. And with respect to each recipe, you'll provide the link, the version number, and the values. Similarly, for the other recipe, you'll provide these details. Right? So this is about the deployment checklist document. So once you've deployed the processes into prod and you schedule those processes, the processor now run against the real-time data. So there might come up some issues as we are executing it against real-time data. There can come up issues. So the team will be fixing it and trying to deploy it again. So this way, in a month or two, the processes all will be stable, right? So once the processes are stable, the team size will be ramped down and then the maintenance phase will get started. So in the maintenance phase, there'll be one or two members in the team supporting the project or maintaining the processes, right? So in case in the maintenance phase, if there are any major errors encountered, then the client would ask for RCA, which is called as root cause analysis, or impact analysis document. So the root cause analysis document, which specifies why the issue has occurred, and impact analysis document on what has been impacted. So let's now see the impact analysis document. So for this, consider there's a project where we need to get the files from the file system and we need to load those orders into third-party systems using Atom queues. Consider this is the use case. So this is a format we have, and consider the issue is Atom crash. So what are the steps that are followed are something which have to be provided here. So we have received an exception email from work@easystepin.com and this suggests the Atom crash. So once we get this alert, we'll go and check if this particular process is failed. So there can be two cases if it is failed. So we'll have to first check if there are files in the archive folder. If there are no files, then we'll check in the production file output and see if there are any files during the failure time. If there are any files during that time, we have to reprocess them. And case 2 can be that the file is picked up and is being processed and say we have to send it to 5 atom queues. There are only 4 got executed and 1 didn't get executed. So then we'll have to reprocess those again. So there can be cases like this. So we'll list out them and the resolution steps that we have followed. So here we'll manually check if each order has been picked up, and we'll track what all atom queues have been executed for that particular order. So for example, if this particular order had all the atom queues executed, so we don't need to worry about it. But if there are orders where all atom queues are not executed, we need to reprocess them. So if there are orders that are not processed for all atom queues, we modify the file particular to that order and place them in the SFTP location, and we provide the file name that have to be processed, and we pause all the rest of the listeners, and only that listener have to be executed will be active. So this way we will be repeating it for all the orders until all the orders are successfully executed for all the 5 atom queues, right? So these steps are something that we mentioned. Okay, so that is about the impact analysis document. Yeah. So with this, we have completed all the different phases of the waterfall model and successful execution of the project. Thank you.